Hi guys, it's Drew Kavanaugh, and today I'll be talking about why the death penalty should be legal in all 50 states. In our world today, many heinous crimes are committed that scar people for life. Typically, the most dangerous criminals can receive one of two forms of punishment. They can either be sentenced to life in prison, or in some states, they can be sentenced to death. Today, I'll be talking about why the death penalty is the best form of punishment in certain cases. Specifically, I will be discussing the types of crimes where the death penalty has been used, how the death penalty can deter crime, and other ways the potential punishment of the death penalty can benefit society in general. The history of the death penalty. It was first introduced to us by the British a long time ago, and since 1977 there have been 2,480 people sentenced to death. 28 states have the death penalty, but that fluctuates every year. I think a couple of years they had 31, and then last year it was 27, and it changes every year. But Texas has sentenced the most criminals to death out of all the states. Here is a 2020 look at the states that have the death penalty, and the blue ones are the ones that don't have the death penalty. Types of crimes where the death penalty can be imposed. It can either be imposed for treason, murder, or large-scale trafficking. So big drug dealers, big murderers, they're usually sentenced to death in most states that have the death penalty. And in 2020, all people that were charged with aggravated murder, they were all sentenced to death in states that had it. The death penalty as a deterrent. When the death penalty is possible for punishment, violent criminals may think twice. So it's not saying that criminals won't do the things that they do, but knowing that their life is at stake, it might give them rethink it and be not as bad. And here's a professor from Fordham University, and he's talking about how he thinks the death penalty deters and how he thinks it's going to be, how he thinks it's a big help for our world. The threat of the death penalty as a form of punishment can benefit society in general. Taxpayers won't have to pay as much. I think every year it's around $32,000, $33,000 they have to pay in taxes on criminals for food and other stuff like that. Well, just food, and their housing and all that stuff's paid by taxes. And even though the lethal injection is around $700,000, if a person's in jail for 30 years, that money's going to add up, and it'll be better if we get to save money on that. The threat of the death penalty as a form of punishment can benefit society in general. Families of violent crimes will have closure. Maybe victims knowing that there's no chance for a person to break out, maybe that'll give them a sense of closure or peace. And society has been increasing, and it's just increasing feelings. In 1977, there was a breakout in Virginia where 6 inmates on death row broke out. And think about being a victim of one of them, and put yourself in that perspective as knowing that the person that did that horrible thing to you, or knowing that person's loose, is just a horrible feeling. Here's a chart about people that agree with the death penalty and people that oppose it. The line in black is showing people that oppose it all the way out through the year from 1940 all the way up, and the people that favor it are all the way up in the green. Even though there's a lot of debate surrounding the death penalty, I believe that it benefits to society outweighs the opposing arguments. The death penalty has been around for a very long time, and it should be used only in the most extreme types of crimes, since there are some acts that deserve the most severe punishment. The death penalty has the potential to prevent or decrease some crimes, and it can provide a comfort for families of the victims of the violent crimes. I hope what I've discussed today has shown that there is a certain instance where the death penalty is appropriate punishment, and it should be legal in every state. Thank you.